Hi, it's Pippa here from Maverick Coffee. Today I just wanted to do a short explanation as to how to get the right grind size for your still pod for Nespresso and for Dolce Gusto. For those of you that grind at home, that have a grinder, I thought this would be quite handy for you. We get quite a lot of customers asking. Obviously, if you don't have a grinder at home, then if you order your coffee from us, there's a drop-down menu when you place your order for you to choose the pod you've got, and we'll grind it to the right size for you. But for those of you that are grinding fresh at home, which is great, I thought I'd do a little bit of an explanation. So to put it in a really simple way, imagine you've got a bucket of sand and you've got a bucket of pebbles, and you pour water into each. Now, if you've got a bucket of pebbles, the water's going to run through really quickly because of the large gaps between the pebbles. Compare that to your coffee, and if your coffee's really coarse, so the biggest chunks you can get on your grinder, there's going to be more gaps for the water to get through, so it's going to run through a lot more quickly. So compare that to your Nespresso machine and it will do the same thing. Now imagine your bucket of sand and it's much finer. The water is going to trickle through quite slowly. It might be too slow, it might be dripping, and you might not be getting enough out. So that's kind of a comparison. What you want is a midway grind. You want it slightly more coarse than the finest setting on your grinder, sort of similar to what would be called or labelled espresso grind on your grinder. And the best way to look at that is when it's too fine, the coffee clumps together in little balls. That's what you don't want. You want it slightly more coarse than that. So it still looks pretty fine, but there's no clumping at all. And the best thing to do is just do trial and error. So if you can get it sort of looking like that on the eye from what I've explained, test it, grind a little bit, put it through your machine, and then think of that scenario that I just said. So if it's running too slowly and it's dripping, then it's too fine. So you need to make your setting on your grinder a little bit more coarse, or vice versa. If it's dripping through too quickly, you need to make it more fine. I hope that helps.